A U.S. journalist is being held in Russia right now. He's accused of being a spy. Just moments ago, as he was leaving the White House, President Biden said, quote, "Let him go." Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, who works for the Journal's Moscow bureau, is now the first American journalist arrested for spying in Russia since 1986. Former Defense Secretary Mark Esper joins us now. Good morning, Secretary. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, Mitch. Good to be with you.
So he could face, Gershkovich, up to 20 years in prison if he's convicted. The White House has condemned it, said to let him go. How does the federal government go about responding to this?
Well, first of all, there needs to be a forceful response because this is completely unjustified. What Gershkovich was doing was reporting in Russia, where he's done so for years. And people are speculating why this is happening. One thought is that Putin is trying to embarrass President Biden. Another thought is that he is really trying to intimidate Western journalists, because really that's all the press freedoms that are left in that country now are Western journalists reporting. But the third thing that is probably even more relevant is we know that last week the Department of Justice arrested a Russian on fraud and foreign agent charges. So is Russia setting this all up for a hostage swap at some point in the coming days or weeks? That we all need to see what happens here.
And the name of that man arrested, Sergei Vladimirovich Cherkasov. Forgive me, I don't speak fluent Russian if I'm mispronouncing that, but we were worried about this when Brittany Griner was swapped for Victor Bout, that Russia would see this as kind of a green light to pick up Americans in their country and hold them hostage until they were exchanged for people that they wanted back. Is this bearing fruit from that? Is this what is happening, or do you think these two things are not related?
No, look, that's always the concern when you start swapping people who, when a country like Russia or Iran or China are taking hostages, that means anytime they want to retrieve one of their own, they take another American hostage. So this is the fruit of that type of policy. And look, we still have Paul Whelan, a former Marine, who's been there now since 2018 with no relief in sight for him as well. So this is a tough situation. And as you mentioned up front, we haven't seen an American journalist arrested since 1986. Since the Cold War. So clearly this is also showing, a brittle and fragile and really under duress Kremlin, given the failures that they're experiencing right now in Ukraine.
And Nicholas Danilov, the last American journalist arrested in Russia back in 1986, he was released, though, without charges after about 2 weeks. Are we expecting something like that here? Do we expect this to be so quick and tidy? Because Brittany Griner was over there for months and Paul Whelan has been there for years.
Strangely enough, with the Soviet Union, there seemed to be a better following of the rules, if you will, when these types of things happen. I suspect Putin's going to drag this out as long as he can get media attention that supports him and embarrasses President Biden. I assume he'll drag it out for as long as he can, because this just gives him another stick to poke in Washington's eye, if you will.
It's just terrible that they're using human beings as bargaining chips, but that is geopolitics, I suppose. And you would know. Former Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Mitch. Good to be with you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.